Start. Tonight we're going to take a look at the third set of the Nage no Kata. This is the Ashiwaza techniques, and we will start by looking at the video of a demonstration of the third set. This is going to be the beginning of the third set after they turn around and face each other. So they're at the position where they are just fixing up their jidogis after doing the second set, which was the hip techniques, and now we're going to have them start the Ashiwaza. So here we go. So they approach each other, come to the center. First one is the Kuriashi Rai. Down on the right side. Then come up. And we do the left side. After that, they're going to move to the uke side starting position and do a Sasai Tsurukomiyashi. And same thing on the left side. Step one, step out, block, and turn. And then the final one is the Uchimata, done in from the center. Stepping around, circling, and catching the leg on the third step. This is the Ashi technique, so there's no hip involved with the Uchimata. Come around, catch the leg, down he goes. And that would be the end of the third set, where they come back and fix up their jidogis and then turn around to face each other. So we're going to take a look at the first one now. On this one here, Okuriashi Barai involves a bit harder break fall, let's say, than what we might be used to. So as a warm-up, what I would have people try out is, first of all, the lapel break fall. So if I was to have my two demonstrators out here, the lapel break fall is where you grab and you basically launch your legs up in the air, okay? If we do it as I usually explain it, is to try go up and then down. So let's just do the first one going up and down method, okay? Lapel break fall. You're just going to grab the lapel, kick your legs up, and fall. Okay. On these ones, we usually say go up and straight down. But for this kata, I would like you to try it with a little bit, launch yourself forward a bit as you do this lapel break fall. So pull yourself forward so he lands further away. Okay? You see the difference? One is going up and down. One is more or less, as I say, sliding into home base. One more time then. Okay. So in both cases, the person is going to land on the side, but what you want to do is to have yourself not go up. So it's getting your legs shot out from underneath you, and then you just fall. The second one you want to practice is the belt break fall. Okay, most of you have done this one before, the belt break fall, where you're just launching yourself over the belt area and going down. So you're basically leaning forward as you do this one. Okay, good. All right, so let's take a look at the Okuriashi Harai or Harai. Okay. This one, it starts off in the center, but one of the things you want to do is to be a little bit closer than you were on the other ones. Just a little bit tighter between each parties. And what it's going to mean is because you're closer, you want to try to push that sleeve hand that Tori's going to use toward the side of uke. Okay? So when they grab, they're going to be moving sideways, slow, quick, and then get through. And then coming back, same thing. The sleeve hand is going to push uke's elbow inwards and land. Okay. This is Okuriashi Barai. What is the difference between Okuri and the Ashi Barai? Yes. Okuriashi, you're sweeping both feet away. The Ashi Barai, you're sweeping 1 foot away, and that's the difference. Okay, so you want to catch both feet, because if Tori just catches the 1 foot, just do a 1-footer, they've been conditioned to do the 2-foot, obviously. But what you see is it often happens when there's more space. It often happens because there's a little too much more space. All right, so if they go sideways and the sweep happens, Uke will get his 1-foot swept. And what also happens is the elbow, can I have the elbow? The elbow will start to do this. You're pushing the elbow in, but you're not pushing it near your partner. So that means your partner is going to start to twist. And that also means that that foot will likely be ahead, so that when you do this, you're going to get the ashibarai. Closer, you're forcing this more into the side. Doesn't have to be right in the side, but you want to be close to your partner so that he doesn't twist on you. Both hands are going to be doing sort of a curving lift with the hands. Okay, one's going to be pushing in, the other is going to be lifting up, and the other thing that you want to do on these is to think of the motion being slow, quick, quick. So when you start off at the beginning, you're going to go slow, quick, quick. The reason for the quick, quick is that you're going to be lighter on your feet. So then it's going to be easier for you to sweep. You're going slow, slow, slow. The weight is still on your feet. It's going to be hard to sweep. Okay, so the idea is that when you first grab, Uke does not take off. Tori has to initiate. So that's the trick. Uke has to sort of wait a half a second before going. Okay, as soon as that elbow starts to push, Uke is going to move 1, 1, 2. And the other trick again, if you're Uke, because you don't want to have just a single foot sweep, you want to have both, is to put your feet together as you're moving. In other words, I'm going 1, 1, 2. So one foot hits the other foot and then kicks out. So that way you're going to for sure get both feet. All right, so you don't want to see a 1-footer, you want to see 2-footer. After the throw, because you shot him down the line a bit, then Tori will just take 2 hands onto the one sleeve. And then that'll be the end. Then you stand up and you come back to the left, do the left side. So one more time on the right side here, guys. Okay.
Okay, so why is Uke grabbing hold of them and just waiting? Because usually in the past, we're grabbing and going.
Yes.
Why are we waiting on this one?
Okay. It's not so much waiting as not taking off. What happens is on this one, you're going to see a lot of times Uke doing this. Uke is already moving before you got the grips. So it's not a wait so much as just that split second where Tori has to initiate. What you don't want to see is Uke taking off and leaving Tori behind. What happens is that Tori actually gets going first because he's pushing in. So he's actually going to be slightly even ahead. But as they take the next 2 steps, Uke is going to advance ahead of Tori. All right, so if we're doing Uke's move, he shouldn't because Tori's going to start to push. So Tori's going to push there. Now, at this point, they're going to be relatively even, maybe, but then this push is going to get Uke ahead because you want to have Uke ahead if you're going to do the sweep. You really never want to have Uke trailing behind Tori because now Tori's leg is going to have to catch this leg from way back there, and it doesn't work. So you always want to push Uke to be ahead of you so that it's easier to do the sweep. So Uke will initiate by grabbing, but Tori will right away start to push and move. Get both of you moving right away then. One more comment again. When you're moving sideways, you want to keep yourself level. All right? We don't want to see the arms flapping. In other words, if I'm moving this way, I don't want to have Tori doing this. All right? This is flapping up. So if you're doing that, that means each time you're taking the pressure off. Okay. I don't want to move and do this, flap my arms. I want to move so that I have constant pressure with my sleeve hand against, okay. I want to also consider how you move sideways. A lot of times we're very stiff when we move. We want to keep level, yes, but we also want to move naturally. So as you move, you can thrust your leg through on the sweep. It comes from the hip where you get the power, and right from the hip right to the toe. So pushing that sweeping leg right through is very important because you want to drive your partner down the line. So again, you want to keep level, but we also want to be loose. You want to be able to move, not rigidly, but smoothly and comfortably as Tori. Okay, you want to position yourself so your feet are coming together as Tori sweeps your ankle. This is a pursuing foot sweep, so we're going to be making sure our feet come together. But as you do that, your body will already be angled so it's in the downward direction. So it helps when you bring your feet together to make sure that you're slanting your body as your feet is swept. For the next technique, Uke and Tori will line up on Uke's half, approximately 1 meter away from the center tape. Then Uke will be able to step forward once he's established the distance between Uke and Tori. Uke will step forward 1, 2, and then the throw. What Tori is trying to do in this technique is to block Uke's ankle as he's stepping forward, just as if you were walking in a yard and tripped over a wire that's strung along the ground. Okay, we'll be stepping forward 1, 2, and then hit that wire and then get thrown. The idea in this technique is that, okay, center of gravity or center of balance is past his support leg, his lead foot leg, so that he's off balance to the front. Okay is still trying to prevent being thrown, so he maintains a stiff body to try to stop that. But meanwhile, Tori uses his sleeve hand grip to pull OK forward and upwards to keep him off balance to the front. Tori is standing on one foot, blocking the ankle with his other foot. Tori should not pull OK downward because that allows OK to get his balance by bending the knee. You want him stretched out forward like Superman, stretched upwards and front. After Tori blocks the ankle, he will rotate his body and turn around 180 degrees so that he's facing the opposite direction. What was said at the Colacan was that if it's natural for OK to have to take a step forward to retain his balance, then that is acceptable. However, in competition purposes, if you were to do that step forward, then there would be a deduction in the score. What Tori does is he pulls and he blocks at the same time. So as he pulls the upper body forward, he blocks Ok's lower body by blocking the ankle with his foot. Now let's take a look at Tori's stepping. Tori's going to be stepping back 1, 2, and 2 does not stop. It actually continues and rotates to the side to the back corner so that his toe is angled inwards now. This now allows Tori to be able to rotate more around 180 degrees. If Tori did not rotate that foot or step outwards with that foot, then his rotation is very limited. He would not be able to rotate very easily all the way around. So as he steps back, we want his foot to continue to the back corner and block with his other leg. The other thing is that if Tori does not step out very far, then it'll be hard for him to have his leg straight and he'll end up bending his knee in order to reach the ankle. So you want to have a good figure out the distance so you can block with a straight leg. Another concept that you like to think about are two tracks that your feet will be walking down. So two railroad tracks or cross-country ski tracks that you're stepping on, but then the second step continues off the track so that you can block Okay's advancing foot that's coming down the track. So Okay will be walking down the track, and after he takes the second step, he'll try to take the third step, but then he'll be blocked by Tori's foot. So he will have his foot, advancing foot, blocked and his upper body being pulled forward down the track. So let's try to demonstrate this concept of the two tracks and how one walks. So we'll just turn ourselves perpendicular so we can see down the camera angle. So we have Okay initiating by taking the grip, Tori stepping back, stepping off the track, and rotating 180 degrees. At this point, Okay actually is slightly off the tracks now because of the pull and the rotation. Okay advances with Sugiyashi taking one step, two step, and as he starts to take the third step, Tori blocks his ankle. So he only starts to take a little step before he is blocked. The other thing is that he needs to also say that I don't want to get thrown, so he maintains a stiff body as he's trying to stop being thrown. Earlier we talked about taking an efficient grip, in other words gripping at the elbow or higher. In the side circumyashes, this is also very important because it will allow you to get a stronger pull on the sleeve hand, the hikite hand. So grabbing high will allow you to pull strongly into the front. In addition, make sure you use your body to help pull, not just your arms. Set 3 is Ashiwaza techniques or leg techniques. In Uchimata, therefore, we are doing an Ashi Uchimata, catching the inside of the Uke's leg, and not doing a hip Uchimata, which is more the traditional one. We also are circling ourselves around and not going backwards and forwards. Uchimata begins in the center of the competition area where they both take a right natural grip to start off with. After this point now, Tori will initiate by starting to turn and pull Uke around. Each step there's a change of position where they started off face to face, but as each step is taken, Uke is slowly brought around more to the rear of Tori. So again, at the beginning, take the grip, circle around once. Each time Tori's arms are level. He does not dip them like we talked about in the Kuriyashi Barai. We want to have constant pulling with the arms level. And then circling, and then the third step, the elbow drops so that he can do the throw. So again, the first two steps, arms are level, and they don't really move too much. They're like a body cast. You're just moving your arms with the body. The body does the rotation. Each time you can pull your wrist in a bit so that Okay is slightly leaning forward. So if you could visualize Okay going around in a larger circumference, each step you should be stepping with a little bit of a lean inwards because Tori does a slight pull with the wrist. Very slight, but enough to keep Okay off his heels. So if you could visualize that open umbrella down in the center, and the stick is in the middle, that's where Tori is, but Okay has to step around on the outside of the umbrella. So each step he stays out away from Tori. And each step he has slight lean forward because of Tori's wrist pulling forward slightly, but it is Okay that has to be taking wide stance or steps around the open umbrella circle. So while Okay is circling, we have Tori being in the center of the umbrella or center of the circle. So he takes smaller steps. And as he circles, again, the body or position of Okay and Tori is slowly changing from face to face to around the hip. 3 steps are taken, 1, 2, and 3. So at the very beginning, when they're taking grips, they are standing square to each other. In other words, they're facing each other face to face. Each step, though, there's a little change of that face to face to have uke coming around the hip more. So there's a change of the position on every step. On the next step, again, there's a little more cinching of uke around the backside, so they are no longer square. They're going to be changing angles as they step around. Finally, on the third step, this is where the rotation is still coming around. So uke is still coming around behind Tori's hip, but then that's where the leg is swept away. Looking at that third step, the time is really important. Just as uke is starting to step around, that's when the leg is swept up by Tori's leg. So similar to a foot sweep, you don't want to plant it hard because then you can't lift up that leg. You have to catch it in motion just as he's coming down, then you sweep that leg away. In this case, it's an ashiwaza, so you're going to catch uke's leading leg, the leg that's coming around first. There is no hip involved with this action, it's sweeping of the leg. Sometimes Tori will sweep the leg up, but then uke is still resting with balance on his trailing leg, as shown here. So what uke has to do is to finish the third step coming around so that there is no trailing leg to stand on. Then Tori can sweep the leg upwards, and uke will then do what we say a log roll break fall. So he's going to be more lateral and horizontal when he's being thrown. What we like to see is uke being thrown horizontally and rotating around, as opposed to going over like you would with a koshi uchimata. We would like uke to be more horizontal. Let's try this again, stepping around. And on the third step, if uke would have brought his trailing leg around more, then he would have been thrown and landed more beside Tori after the sweep. Tori can get uke's upper body forward and his legs way to the back, because if uke brings his trailing leg around, he should have nothing to stand on, and the sweep should be lifting upwards and turning uke over. So if uke's trailing leg is still underneath him for balance, then you'll see them jumping because he realizes that Tori is not able to finish the throw. So uke really has to finish off his rotation, his third step, by coming around and getting rid of the trailing leg by drawing it back. Let's take a look at Tori's steps. He steps once to circle, circles two, and then on the third step, it's not a circle step. It's a step just to put yourself in balance so that you can lift up your other leg. If that knee is not underneath you, then you will likely be off balance and fall to the side as you sweep. What Tori is trying to do is to catch uke's advancing leg as it's coming around on the third step. For uke, he will be pulled around once, pulled around twice. He'll start the third step, but then he'll be swept with that Tori's leg sweeping the inside of the thigh. However, it's helpful if uke finishes that third step by bringing it around. At the beginning, Tori might be stepping around such that he'll end up facing Shomen when he does the reap, but others will be more natural and you might end up facing sideways as you do the throw. Now we're going to walk through the whole kata, but without the throwing. This is to help you set the position and the distance. So we will start you off outside the contest area with your heels together, having a pie-shaped heels so that there's a slight separation, but your heels are together. You bow once to each other at the edge. Take 2 half steps to come up to the tape. Don't pass the tape, just you come to the tape. Again, you still have your heels together in the pie shape. At this point, we're going to turn to show men and do a standing bow in that direction. Hands slide to the front, hands slide to the back. Face each other. Now we are going to go in a kneeling bow, so into seiza, left knee, flatten the toes, and then sit on your heels. You're going to bow forward, so we want our back straight and our hips down close to the mat. Then once we finish that, we pop up with good posture, live toes, then standing up, right foot, left foot, and we are still behind the tape with our pie feet. At this point here, we're going to take one big stride forward, so you're going to be 1 meter ahead of the white tape. For uki-otoshi, we haven't talked about this, but uki has to take 2 half steps, so he ends up stopping about half a meter ahead of where they're currently standing. So 2 small steps by uki. Meanwhile, Tori has a farther distance to travel, so they should be walking more quickly and fully steps, such that when they stop, they are at the right distance apart. The right distance apart is usually if you extend your arm out to just touch the lapel, that's about the right distance apart. Because when Uki initiates, he's going to be stepping forward, and then Tori's going to be stepping back. So remember, Uki reaches, then Tori takes over with Uki Otoshi. 2 steps back and drop on the knee, and at this time we're not doing the throw, so we're just walking ourselves. In Uki Otoshi, what we like to have is Tori having good posture and stability. This is created by having your triangle. So in other words, your foot, your knee, and your back foot create a flat triangle there so that you have balance in all directions. Your chest should be relatively square. In other words, try not to look at your partner, but actually look straight ahead. That way you won't find yourself tipping over. So posture there with head looking straight ahead. Uke is thrown to the diagonal corner. We used to throw it down the center, but because of the position of Tori, Uke is forced to go into the corner. So we're going to step back 1, step back 2, and then aim for the corner. Once Tori completes the throw, then he should have good posture and balance. Then he can stand up and move into the next technique, which is Seoi Nage. This technique is done on the center, so both parties are about 2 meters apart, so they can initiate the strike. Okay, raises his fist high above his head and steps forward and aims for the center of Tori's head. Tori then steps forward, deflects the arm with the inside grab of the bicep area, and then reaches around to the top of Uke's shoulder. It's important that Uke then shows the defensive step, which is to square up, so that Tori and Uke are very much chest to back as the throw occurs. Unlike having the arm into the bicep, Tori wants to try to have Uke's arm on top of his shoulder. That way, when the throw occurs, it'll be straight down the center line. Uke will be thrown directly over top of Tori. During the throw, Uke stiffens up his core as defense. Let's try the left side now. This is more awkward for most people. Same stepping, 1, 2, and strike. Moving on to the next technique, which is Kataguruma, we go back to Uke's side. Tori will be positioned about a meter, 1.2 meters or so away from the center tape on Uke's side. Tori establishes his position, then Uke establishes the distance from Tori, which was about an arm length away. As Uke initiates, Tori will step back, taking regular grip, and then the second one will switch to the inside of the sleeve, and then on the third step, he will be dropping down so that his head will be close to Uke's hip, such that he's lowered his body and really stretched out Uke's arm to get Uke leaning forward so that he basically falls on top of Tori's shoulders. So stepping back one, switching on two, and then stretching up and getting your partner lifted. Okay, shows his stiffness, core, by being very straight at the top. Tori does not grab the pants, but just cups his leg high up above the knee. Now the left side, stepping back one, switching grip on two, and then stretching, okay, upwards and forward, getting Tori's head down by the belt, and then maintaining posture when you're lifting. That being the end of the first set, both parties return back to the fix-up spot, which is 1 meter ahead of the bow-in tape. After that, you turn and face each other. When we did Sail and Nage, we were 2 meters apart. Right now, we're 4 meters apart. So what we need to do is just take 2 more steps to get closer back to the 2 meter gap. So we take 2 steps, 1, 2, now we're at that 2 meter gap. Then we'll just continue to step 3 and 4 to do the strike. For Tori, he has to step in with his left hand around the belt so that he's doing actually a right hand throw first. Stepping 1, 2, 3, 4, and then left hand throw. On the other side, Uke will be striking with a left hand strike, and Tori will be stepping in with a right ukigoshi. The next hip technique will be harai goshi, and we start off again on Uke's side. So roughly Tori is a meter, 1.2 meters away from center. On this one, we start off with our first normal grip, but the second grip Tori takes is to put his hand underneath the armpit and onto the back, upper back of Uke. As Tori is taking the third step, he uses that hand on the back to pull Uke forward and to the corner. Then he turns and does the throw. Under our hip techniques, we need to show that the hip is being used to do the throw and the leg is being very strong and firm when you do the sweep. He needs to ensure that he takes a third step so he's pulled onto Tori's hip. Next we have Tsurikomi Goshi, which starts off on Uke's side. Tori will take an immediate high grip on the collar of Uke and will be stepping back with basically 5 steps. Going back 1, 2, 3, a cross step, and then a spin step. After Tori takes the 5th step and returns, his hip should be right against the thighs of Uke. Uke needs to be resisting, so it's very stiff on the body, and Tori's arm should be straight. After the end of the second set, both Uke and Tori return to their fix-up spot, basically 1 meter again ahead of the bow-in tape, fix up the jogis, and then turn to face each other. Both Uke and Tori then move to the center tape, this time being a little bit closer than at arm reach distance. Because we don't have enough space, let's turn sideways and we'll go all together in the direction toward me, which is away from Shomen. Once we take grip, we're going to be moving sideways and getting swept. Our steps will be slow, then quick, and having natural posture. Make sure that you demonstrate Okuri Ashirai, not De Ashibarai. After completing that, we move back to the Uke side to do the next technique, which is the Sasai Tsukomi Ashi. Tori will be taking 2 steps back, but the second step does not stop. He'll continue to go to the outside and to the rear, and then he will block Uke's advancing foot with his other leg. Tori will rotate and pull Uke's sleeve hand and not the collar. Then we'll do it on the left side, and this time Tori will be taking 2 steps back and pulling with the sleeve hand again to complete the throw. And finally, we have Uchimata, which again is done at the center of the tatami, so you're equal distance from the tape, and we will just take grip. Tori will then initiate by stepping forward and circling around and drawing uke to the rear so that he can sweep on the third step. Then again for the left side, we will position ourselves at the tape and just take grip by stepping forward with our left foot. Then Tori again initiates by stepping forward and circling uke around so that by the third step, uke is going to have his leg swept. At the end of this set, which was the Ashiwaza, we return to our fix-up spot, which again is about 1 meter ahead of the bowen tape, and we turn to face each other. Together, you both step back with your right foot, heels back into the pie-shaped position behind the bowen tape. You lower yourself by dropping your left knee, then right knee, flatten your toes, and sitting down. Bow forward with a straight back. Have posture sitting up. Then have a stand up with your right foot, then left foot, and face shomen. One bow to shomen. Turn and face each other. Take 2 half steps and end up on the outside of the contest area, doing 1 bow to each other there. Now let's try to practice it with the throwing included. So this is kake. So we will be all at the edge of the contest area, take our 2 steps forward, face shomen, do our bow forward, then turn and face each other and go down left knee, then right knee, and flatten toes, and then bow forward. When you bow forward, you want to try and keep your back as straight as possible, but also keep yourself synchronized. So basically, try to pivot at the hip and keep your back straight. Then standing up, again we go up for live toes, stepping up with the right foot, then left foot. Then we take 1 large step forward, so we're about 1 meter ahead of the tape now, and we start uke otoshi. Okay, we'll take 2 half steps forward, Tori will take the full steps, and you meet together at the same time. Okay, we'll initiate by starting to grab, but then Tori will immediately take control by stepping back and pulling 2 steps and then throwing on the third step. Having posture, vertical posture, and balance. Again, done on the left side, start off taking grip and stepping back, 1, 2, and throw. At the end of that is Ippon Nage, which again is done at the center of the contest area. Okay, we'll initiate by doing a right-handed hammer blow to the top of Tori's head. Tori will turn in and do a Ippon Nage in the forward direction. Then again for the left side, change positions, and okay, we'll do a left-handed hammer blow to the top of Tori's head. Tori will turn in with the Seonage. After that, we do Kataguruma, which is done on Uke's side. Uke will reach, Tori will step back, change grip on 2, then pull on 3 to do the lift. Then we do the left side, stepping back 1, changing grip on 2, and pulling on 3 to do the lift. We didn't use crash mats, so we did not do the throw this time. After that, we go back to our fix-up spot to start the second set. Once you turn to face each other, you are 4 meters apart. So remember, you have to take 2 steps to come within the 2 meter space. So you start off stepping with your left foot to advance toward each other, left, right. At this point, you should be around 2 meters apart, so you normally would continue to walk forward. And Tori does a left ukigoshi. Then you move back to the center, roughly about 2 meters apart, and Uke will attack with a left hand hammer blow, and Tori throws with a right ukigoshi. After ukigoshi, the next technique is haraigoshi, which is done on Uke's side. Uke will initiate by stepping forward, Tori will take over, pulling back, changing grip on 2, then to the back, and then 3 pulling forward onto the hip, and throwing with a haraigoshi. Then we do the same for the left side, so we take grip and moving back, changing grip on 2, and then drawing up on 3 to do the throw with a hip technique. We then move into position to start the Tsurikomigoshi. That again is done on Uke's side. So on this one, Tori takes the initial high grip on the collar, stepping back 1, stepping back 2, stepping back 3, cross step and pivot, and having your hips low down in front of Uke's thighs. The same is done for the left technique. So we have grip, stepping back again 1, 2, and 3, taking a cross step, pivoting, and throwing forward. So after the end of the second set, Tori and Uke go back to their spot to fix up the jidogis and then turn to face each other. The first technique will be Okuri Vashirai, which is done at the center tape area at a very close distance. Once taking grip, we move sideways away from Shomen and sweep, and then we will do it again going left, back towards Shomen, going slow and then quicker and then sweep. Next technique will be Sasai Tsukumiyashi, which is started in the Uke side. On this one, Tori step back 1, step back 2, out, and then block and turn. Same on the left side. 2 steps with the second step, just continuing on to the outside and then blocking Uke's advancing foot. Finally, for Uchimata, we go to the center, equal distance from the tape. Tori circles and sweeps on the third step. Then you stand up and do it on the left side. That would be the end of the third set, so both Uke and Tori return to their fix-up spot, which is again 1 meter ahead of the white tape, and turn and face each other. At that point, they would be stepping back 1 step behind the bowing tape. Then you would do a kneeling bow first, so going down left knee, right knee, and bowing to each other. Then popping up and standing up with your right foot, left foot behind the tape, turn to Shomen, do 1 bow there, face each other, take 2 half steps to the edge and 1 bow there.